Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have something really special for you guys. This is the 2020 Dodge Challenger. This is not an ordinary Challenger. This is the Hellcat Redeye, and this is the SRT. So this is the top of the line of the Hellcats. But in the new generation there's a new one that's called the Super Stock that is more above this, but because this is the 2020, this is the most highest spec Hellcat that you can get on the 2020 version. So let's start the full in-depth review. And thank you so much to Luxury of Queens for providing this car to me. Their Facebook page is at the description box. Do make sure you hit that like button. So this is the key of the Hellcat, you can see right there. And then in the back you have your buttons like your hazard, your lock opener, lock, your trunk, and your remote start, and your panic button. And you have a emergency key right here, there, and the full keys in red with your SRT and Redeye badge right there. So first we're going to start with the rear of the car because I start the reviews with the front, so I decided let's do something different about this review. So first I'm going to show you the rear end. So now let's start showing you the rear end. Let's show you the tail lights. So the width of this car is 75.4 inches. So first let's start showing you the tail lights. So you can see these are LED tail lamps that you can see right here. So now I'm going to get inside and turn on the tail lamp. So let's get it inside. So here we get inside. So this is my foot on the brake there. So this is the full light on with the hazard. And if I come outside now, so if you guys come a little closer, because it's day, you can't see the tail lights that bright enough. So this is the tail light. It starts from here, it all the way circles. It's a 3D design tail light, and because it's in America and it's an American car, the hazards are red, and you have the reverse light here. Then if you guys come at the center, you have your Dodge badge over here with this gloss black treatment covering it. You have a button over here for opening the trunk. You have your reversing camera in the rear spoiler, and this is an optional extra for the Hellcat. You have your SRT badge right here and your Redeye badge, and this rear spoiler actually is very wide. If you guys see it from the side, it's not an ordinary spoiler, it's very wide. Then if you guys get down, this is your number plate slot, and you have 4 sensors at the back with 2 reflectors, one over here and one over here that is tinted. And because this is the Hellcat, it has a HEMI V8, huge exhaust tip here and another one here. And I'm going to show you guys the sound a little later. So this is it pretty much for the rear. The rear windshield is heated and it's tinted. You have your rear shark fin right there that is functional. Now let's check out the boot space. So the height of this car is 57.7 inches. Now let's check out the boot space. So if I just press twice on the key, and then if I just lift this up, the hydraulic struts are going to open. And over here, you have 16.2 cubic feet of storage. You can see your SRT floor mats are here. So after you buy this car from Luxury of Queens, you can install this at the front. And then you can just see your SRT Redeye badge right there, your Hellcat. If you guys see the underfloor storage right away, so you have your battery at the back for the weight distribution, and you have your tire repair kit, so it's just tire pressure. So there you can actually fold down the rear seats as a 60-40 distribution that I'm going to not fold right now. And if you are stuck on the boot anytime, you can just pull this handle and get out from the boot. Now if we close it, there, this is it for the rear. Let's check out the side profile. So the length of this car is 195.5 inches. Now let's get down. So you have a reflector here because it's obviously in America, and then this rear fender is so wide. If you guys see the rear fender here, it's really wide actually. And if you guys didn't know, the Hellcat, the Challenger is actually rear wheel drive. So let's talk about the rear wheel, because almost 700 plus horsepower go to this rear wheel, and this tire gets slammed all the time. So the rear tires are 305 35 R20s. And then you can see these 20-inch wheels that come with the SRT package, and it's on bronze. It actually looks very good. You have your Brembo 2-piston brakes right there, and these are ventilated. And then if we get up from here, just look at the rear end. The rear end is so fluffier, it's so muscled up because it's a pre-owned muscle car right here. Then this is the rear window actually for the rear seat, and this is the window for the front. Actually, because this is a sports car, it obviously has frameless doors, and if you close it, it goes up. And this is actually the door handle with your keyless entry button. There. This is your extended mirror with blind spot monitoring, and it is powerfully controlled from the inside. You have your Redeye badge right here. So this is the Redeye badge with the red eye. The wheelbase of this car is to the front wheels to the rear wheels, how much space you have. It is 116.2 inches. And the ground clearance of this car is 4.5 inch. It's actually decent for a muscle car. Then you can see the front fender is not less wider than the rear. It's actually more wider than the rear one, and it also has that same reflector right here. And the front wheels are the same. It's 305 35R20s. You have those big Brembo kits with your front discs that are also ventilated. I just love the design for this SRT wheel, and it obviously has performance tires. It has Pirelli P0s all season tires, so it means it has a lot of grip to it. So this is it for the side profile. Now let's check out the front of the car. So now I'm going to show you the front of the car. So let's start with these headlights. So these are LED headlights right here, and I'm going to get inside and turn on the lights. So let's get inside. Here we go. So this is my foot on the brake, pressing the start button. There, the car has been started. So this is the daytime running lights with the headlights. This is the hazards. This is the high beam off, high beam off. So now I'm going to come outside and show you the lights. So this HEMI V8 is very loud. So this is your main headlight. This is the daytime running lamps. This is another daytime running lights here with your hazards light. And if you guys come a little closer, this is actually open to feed air inside the supercharger. And then you can see the Redeye badge inside there, also in a white light. And then you have your SRT badge over here, and this is fully open for aerodynamics, getting that air and feeding it inside to the radiator to cool down this big V8. Same on this other side, but this vent is not actually open because it needs air from one side only because it's a single supercharger. And then it's open down here. It needs a lot of cooling, trust me. It has this big front splitter that you can see all the way. This is also open, and then if you guys see it from the side angle right here, it's very wide. Like the air goes up here and it goes up. This car is very aerodynamic. If you guys come on the hood, there are two hood vents. This is fully functional. When I open the hood, I'm going to show you that, but this is not actually functional. You can get the hood in black, but that is optional extra. It's very, very expensive. So this is it for the front. Let's check out this engine. So now for opening the hood, I have to do it from the driver's side. So there is a button right here. If I just pull this up, there it opens. So there are no different engine variants for the Challenger. There's only one, that's the V8. Oh no, there's actually two. So there is a V6 and there's V8. So if you get the starting Challengers, you get that V8, but if you try to get the Hellcats, it comes with a V8. So let's talk about this engine because there's a lot to talk about. This engine, it's a 6.2 liter HEMI V8 that is supercharged. If you guys come a little closer, you can see it's written Supercharged HEMI. So it has a 2 liter supercharger on a naturally aspirated V8 engine. So this is what is a supercharger. You can see SRT. So this is a SRT supercharger right here. Then you can see for the cooling for the supercharger, one vent is open to get the cooling here and feeding it enter to the engine and the supercharger. Like I mentioned, one is open right here, the hood scoop that you can see from here. It feeds air and comes down to this. Let's talk about the power output. So for this 2020 model vehicle, the horsepower is 770 horsepower and 605 pound-feet of torque. That is more than a Lamborghini Aventador. That's amazing. I'm talking about the first generation for the Aventador. And all this power goes to only the rear two wheels. So you can understand how much power this car is handling. This is the most powerful American muscle car. And it has, the transmission is in 8-speed ZF automatic. And in the last generation of the Hellcat, you could get a manual transmission, but in this one, you unfortunately can't. You have your windshield wiper water that you put right here. And you can see, I just love to steer on this engine. It's such an amazing engine. So there, now let's close it. Just get it closer. Away. There. So this is the full exterior of the car. I hope you guys liked it. Now let's get into the interior. Okay, so now I'm going to get inside the rear seats of the car. So for that, there is a button here. So if I just press this, first of all, I have to remove the seat belt from here. There, and then I just lift this, get the seat a little bit front, and then let's get inside. Let's get the seat back, and there. So there are 2 seats at the back, and a third person can sit easily at the center. But if they don't, you have the armrest right here with your 2 cup holders, and it's not annoying right here, so you could put your hand peacefully. Then if I get the headrest up, you have 2 AC vents at the back for cooling the rear passengers, and you have isofix anchor points. You have leather treatment here also, so you don't hurt your hand while you're putting your head here. It doesn't feel congested because it has a window here and 2 lights on the roof here. It has 2 hooking points on either side for putting your bags, and you have an airbag here, so when you go on accident, you don't hit your head. You have seat pockets on both of the sides, and that is pretty much it. Now let's get to the front seat. So let's fold this down again. Let's get out. So here, and let's put this back to place, and then get the seat powerfully sliding back. And now let's get inside. So now I'm going to show you guys the dashboard. It's a simple design. You have right here, you have an AC vent here with your SRT badging and your Redeye. This is for turning off the vent and turning it on. You have a glove box right here with your lockers for the wheel. Now I'm going to get this up. You have a 12-volt socket right here for charging your mobile device with a storage to put your phone in. So these are fabric seats right here with SRT and Redeye badging inside, and the passenger side is fully manual. The driver's side, you can powerfully slide it, but it's manually backrested here. Then if you guys come here, if you open this, it actually comes out from one side, and then you have a 12-volt socket here and 2 USB and an aux, and you have a little bit of storage. You have this white treatment that all the way, white stitching that all the way starts from here, that all the way comes till here. You have 2 cup holders that are small size that you can put your key in or your phone, but it's not going to fit. Then you have another storage compartment here that you can put your key of the car, and it just slides in. So this is the gear knob of the car. So for that, I'm going to start up the vehicle, put on the brake. Oh, I didn't mention the starter button. It's right here. So put on the brake, press the start button. There, that Hemi starts. So this is your gear knob actually. So this is for reverse. You can see the reversing camera with your adaptive guidelines. Then you have your neutral and drive, and you have your manually shifting. So I'm going to put it back to park and put the handbrake on right there, and turning off the car because this car is really loud. Then if you guys come here, you have your front windshield heater, rear windshield heater, and you have a 2-zone climate control on either side, AC, and if you want the car's air to stay on the inside, the outside air not to come in, you press this or you leave it off. Then you have your wind speed right here, off and auto. Then you have your volume knob, you have your tuning knob, this is your traction control button, your parking sensor is off, this is for the launch control, this is the SRT mode, this is for mute, this is your hazards button, this is for the screen off. You have 1 AC vent here and another one here, and then you have your infotainment system. This is your rear view camera, rear view mirror actually, with your auto dim feature. You have 2 lights at the center with a sunglass holder here, and you have your garage opener too. You have 2 vanity mirrors, one here with a light, and you have 2 microphones for your voice command of the car. So there, that's it. Now let's show you guys the infotainment. So now let's show you the infotainment. So let's get the car on ignition. Right there. There it comes on. I'm going to turn on the AC because it's actually really hot. So, there. So first of all, you have media. So you have your AM, you have your FM here, and you have your tune mix right here. Then you have your climate. So this is for the temperature that you can control from here, and you have 2 physical buttons here. Then you have where you want the air to be, on your face and leg, or only your leg. And then you can control your mirror dimming off and on, your settings, and your heated seats and heated steering wheel. Then you have the wind speed here too, so 1, 2, 3 to 7, or you could just use this button. Just use it, and that's it. You have your all the buttons here, and the shortcut buttons are down here. Then you have the controls for the seats, the heated seats. Then if we go here, you have your apps. So you have your SRT mode. If you get inside, so this is your power right here. This is your transmission. So if you go on transmission, you can put the transmission on street, sport, and track. You can put the suspension and the steering to street, sport, or track. Then you can put the suspension, street, sport, or track, and then you can put the car's acceleration on speed or track. And then you can use the full horsepower or just 500 horsepower. You can control it from here. Then if we go, this is the full track mode, so everything's in red. This is the sport, this is the custom, so how you want it to, and this is just auto. I'm just going to put it on track because it's the most powerful mode. Then I'm going to get the wind speed a little more up. It's very hot. Then you have your SRT dash. So you have your launch control. Then you have the burnout feature. You have the RPM right here. So this is your performance page. So everything's going to come here that the driver is seeing at the RPM. It takes a little time, but it comes. Then you have your driving modes, the same thing that I showed you a little while ago. So then you have your driver heater, passenger heater, your phone connected, your Wi-Fi hotspot, you have your SOS emergency, you have your assistance, vehicle user notification, market, and your performance page. Then guys, go to this side. You have your app management, you have your heated steering wheel, your dimming mirror, media, climate control, phone, you have your settings and your audio settings. If we just go here on performance, then it shows you the PSI of the wheels, the horsepower and the pound-feet of torque. Everything's going to come here, so how much power this car is giving to you. Then you have the G-force, then you have the timer of the car. So the 0 to 60s, then this is all the oil temperature, all the temperatures that you have. And then you have your home, like your horsepower, G-force, everything's on one dial. There. So very good infotainment system from Dodge. That's it. You have your starter button here if I didn't mention that before. Now let's show you the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is manually adjustable, but it's telescopes. It comes to you, goes down, goes up, and however you want it, you can adjust it right there. So you have your cruise control buttons right here, cancel, set, and reset, and your timer. I'm going to turn off the cruise control. Then you have this button to control to the center screen. You have your receive call, cut call, and your voice command. You have SRT written here, and then if you guys see behind the steering wheel, you have your aluminum paddle shifters, and you have a button right here. So there is a button down there, so for your volume. So when you're driving, you can just use this volume and your paddle shifters. So that's it. Now let's show you the RPM. So now let's show you the RPM. So first of all, I'm going to start up the vehicle. So there, when you start it up, I'm going to close my door because it's really loud. So when you start it up, it does a full swipe. So this is your RPM. The red line is 6,000 RPM, and it's very cool dial in full red. This is the speedo. The top speed is 220 miles per hour. You get your SRT right here. You get all your warnings here. And if we toggle to that center screen, first of all, you have the speed, then you have the tire pressure, then you have the performance, then you have the fuel economy, then you have the trip information, audio, you have your message, you have your screen setup, and that's it. So this is actually it for the instrument cluster. It's a very good design and I just love it. Now let's show you the door. So now the door. So you have a vent here for defogging the windows. The vent air go from here and get inside the door. Then you have your window controls here with your lock and unlock. You have the exterior mirror controls here. You have your door handle here. You have a bottle holder here and another bottle holder here. Then if you guys talk about the sound system, this car has a Alpine sound system. It says right here, and you have the speaker right here. If you guys get a little up, this is your headlight control right there. This is your temperature for your instrument cluster and the headlight. This is for opening the trunk. This is for opening the hood. This is your parking brake. This is your brake and your gas. That's it. Yeah. So that's it. So if you guys like this review, make sure you hit that like button, and if you guys want to see this type of exclusive car reviews, to make sure you hit that subscribe button. So I will try to do very exclusive cars like this and review it for you guys. But until then, stay safe, stay home, and again, huge thanks to Luxury of Queens for providing this car to me. Until then, stay safe, stay home everyone. See you at the next review. Peace.